Thank you. That was beautiful. Some pre-warning here. I do have nervous energy. It'll go away in about 5 minutes. So, but that song, I'm a town crier. I started crying the Chosen Family one. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Wasn't that a beautiful song? First time I'd ever heard it. I love it. And I took a picture of the words. So I do have nervous energy. I wasn't always a founder of a national nonprofit. But before we get started, I just want to thank those of you who made a way for me to get here. I've been able to spend Friday night, Saturday, and today with many of you, and I'm just so impressed, inspired, and just so glad that you're here doing the work that you're doing. And thank you for those who made a way for me to get here. Someone arranged for the airfare. Someone rented a car so I could drive here and had a hotel room. It was very nice. Thank you so much. You're Oklahoma City, born and raised. And with that, I also want to introduce, got about 4 more minutes of this nervous energy and we're going to be okay. It's going to be all right. I'd like to introduce Sue Freeman. I didn't expect to see Sue this morning. She's our area leader. Sue, stand up. I'd like for you to just get acquainted with Sue. And she's our area lead for Central Texas. And the creativity and the dedication that our volunteers bring to where they're at, to who they're with, is no easy task. It takes a lot of effort to show up and be creative and dedicated. So Sue has a card in the back, and she's got a QR code on here, and she's trying to raise money so she can get an entry fee for the Pride Festival here. It's about $375, $325. Anyway, if you feel so inclined, the cards are back there. Also, I wrote a book. It's a self-published book. It's titled How We Sleep at Night, A Mother's Memoir. My son, Parker, created the illustration. Isn't that beautiful? But this book is about my journey from the church to the Pride Parade, without losing my faith, without losing my son. And I had some extra copies, so I brought them. There's maybe 3 or 4 back there. I have one here. But please, be my gift to you. If you feel so inclined, make a donation to the church. Okay? Housekeeping. Bathrooms are down the hall on the left. And there may be some trigger warnings. It's not my intention to throw the church under the bus. I just share my experience as a woman of faith. Politics, I just share facts that I know of policies that affect families like mine. All right? With that, if you don't know the story of Free Mom Hugs, here's how it started. My name is Sarah Cunningham, and I live in Oklahoma City, born and raised. And I grew up not questioning authority, not asking about money or talking about politics, and it really caused a lot of problems in my life. First being that I met my husband young. We liked each other, obviously. We got pregnant, and then we got married. And that's how this journey really began. When we had children, I thought, I need to raise them right, so I better get plugged into a local church. I didn't care that the church was a Southern Baptist church. I just wanted to raise my children right. I thought, I'm a Christian, and so I know, it's funny, but I didn't care about the doctrine at that time. I just wanted to be involved with the fellowship, and I love the fellowship of believers. We did a lot of really good things inside and outside of that church. And we belonged there as a family for 20 years. 20 years. We did funerals together, weddings, births of babies. I know you all know the drill. We help each other. And if we saw a need inside or outside of the church, if I didn't know how to fix it or help it, I knew someone who did, and we would work that way. And we did a lot of wonderful things inside and outside of the church. So we were there every Sunday and Wednesday when the church doors were open. And when my youngest son, Parker, when he turned about 12 or so, he started expressing how he didn't feel like all the other boys. He tried to have conversations at the kitchen sink, after dinner walk, and I did not allow a space or the vocabulary to have a conversation about how he was feeling or expressing himself. And I manipulated the conversation. I thought it was a phase because he was telling me that he's gay. And I was praying for some holy bolt of lightning to flash and make him normal. And this is full transparency here. I know. So when Parker was about 15, he said, "Mom, I'm gay." And I didn't take the news very well. I behaved badly. And then we didn't talk about it anymore until Parker turned 21. And he said, "Mom, I met someone, and I need you to be okay about it." And again, I behaved badly. I said some things and acted in ways that I regret, even today. It was a journey. When Parker came out of his closet, I went into mine. And I had to re-examine everything that I believed. I could not reconcile a loving God that would condemn my son, my beautiful child. And I was frozen in that fear. I was frozen in the fear that I believed that my son was going to burn in eternity in hell. And I was frozen in that fear. And I was taught and absorbed this idea that if I accepted him, that made me a sinner too. Do you see how crazy this sounds? Now, when my son came out of his closet, I went into mine. I had to re-examine everything I believed, and I thought I was the only mom in Oklahoma with these crazy thoughts in my head. And so I started writing the book, and these are from stories that I heard. The last chapter was inspired when Parker invited my husband and I to join him at the Oklahoma City Pride Parade. And I didn't understand pride. I didn't know the significance of a little gay bar in New York City called the Stonewall Inn. No clue. When I was preparing to go to Pride with my son, I prayed one thing: God, I want to see your favor there. That's all I care about. I just want to see your favor there. And so the day came, and we went. And I had a pivotal moment in my life at that parade. There were several moments along the way, but standing at the Oklahoma City Pride Parade, it was my first real interaction with the LGBTQ+ community. And I saw such diversity and color and camaraderie and community, and it was beautiful. And I thought, God, and I looked to the heavens, because prior to that day, I went to lunch with a church lady friend of mine, and I told her that I was preparing to go to the Pride Parade. And so you know how you sit across the table from each other and you pray over each other like that? Well, she prayed over me like that. And she prayed that I would maybe make a difference in the gay community, that maybe I would make a difference. And at that time, the audacity was, maybe I'll go and start a Sunday school Bible study. Maybe we'll have praise and worship. The audacity of that prayer when I was standing at the Pride Parade with this beautiful community, I looked to the heavens and I said, thank you, God, that I am the one changed. And from that moment, I never looked back. I poured into the community, Second Chance Prom, clothing closet, working with the Pride Board, learning. I was like a sponge because I wanted to know more. And I started hearing stories and meeting Parker's friends and seeing my son happy and healthy and living authentically and hearing their stories. And anytime we'd get together, they would say, "Can I just have a mom hug? Can I have a mom hug?" And so the next year at the Oklahoma City Pride Parade, I made a homemade button because, you see, I was so sheltered. I didn't have a computer to order anything off eBay or whatever. Anyway, I made a homemade button. And you see this, it's a homemade button. And I went to the Oklahoma City Pride Festival, and I can't walk past this point. Would you come to me? And with anyone who made eye contact with me, I'd said, could I offer you a free mom hug or a high five? Because not everybody's a hugger. You're a hugger, okay. Ooh. Thank you. Here, hold on a second. I got something for you. There's that.
Oh, thank you.
Okay? Oh, here, take this, might as well. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Now,
My son's gay, too.
your son's gay too.
Yes, I've gone through. Yes.
Been there, done that. Okay, I'm glad we're here together. So, the first hug went to a beautiful young girl who said it had been 4 years since she had a hug from her mother because she's a lesbian. I heard stories like that all day. Not all of them were bad, but the majority of them were heartbreaking. And I went home that day covered from head to toe with glitter. But I also went home changed. And from that experience, we started, I was going to use that button. We started the national, it's okay. We started the national nonprofit Free Mom Hugs. Just lift that button up so they can see it. We started the national nonprofit Free Mom Hugs. And you see, I wanted the logo clear so you could see it at a distance. And whether you can use words or not, you knew that I'm a strong and faithful ally. And whether you can use words or not, you know that I'm a safe person. And so that's why the logo is clear as possible. This was made for us from Trans Painter. He's a trans artist, transgender artist, and he created this for Free Mom Hugs. Isn't that beautiful? And these are the transgender colors. I love it. It's one of my favorite colors. Now to my notes. So from that experience, we started the national nonprofit Free Mom Hugs, but the theme today is listen, learn, and love. And I want to share a few stories that I've learned about listening and learning and loving. And it's a journey. And I didn't set out to create a national nonprofit. I was, like I said, a secretary for an architectural firm. I did billing and payroll for 20 years. Then my son came out and I became accountable to what I was listening, to what I was learning, and to who I was loving. Now, we talked about Parker. I started listening to him. I got plugged into the community, and before too long, I went to a PFLAG meeting that I thought was for high schoolers or families like mine. And so I went. I knew the facilitator there. I was just getting new to PFLAG, and wonderful organization. And so I went in, and it turned out to be for the adult transgender community. Now, I had never been in the same room with a transgender person that I know of until that day. And I stayed because, I brought the cookies. And no, I stayed because I was curious. And I listened to their stories that day. And I cried hot tears in my car. And I thought, these are beautiful, misunderstood people. And so I created an event that I wanted to be completely free to the transgender community, a transgender Valentine's banquet, because it was around Valentine's Day that I met this community. And I just wanted to make an evening of good memories with beautiful food and a beautiful space. And that began the national program of a national transgender Valentine's banquet. And that's one of all the things we've accomplished, that's one of my favorite things. And so at one time, my husband and I were on vacation. We met a beautiful elderly couple, a lesbian couple, and we got to the hotel. It was in Virginia Beach. Anybody ever been there? Beautiful. So we get to Virginia Beach, and we're in the hotel, and we call my oldest son, because this is our first vacation without children. And so we call, because we have to, because we're old, and we say, hey, we made it to the destination. We're here. Everything's fine. We're in for the night. And my son found out where we were, and he goes, well, you got to go to Landry's. You know where they throw the roll? Anybody been there? Landry's? You got to go there. They throw rolls, and they're delicious. So my oldest son says, you got to go to Landry's. I'll send you some money so you can go and eat. And we thought, okay, whatever. We thought we would just find some place close. Well, we go to the elevator, and there's this beautiful couple here, and my husband says, what's for dinner? And they go, we're going to Landry's. And so my husband said, we were just talking about that. And so they says, well, come with us. Complete strangers. We get in the car with them. We go to Landry's, and we have a wonderful time. We become fast friends. And then our vacation's over, we go home, and suddenly I'm becoming this accidental activist for years. This is like 2014. And the Marriage Equality Act passed. My friends that we met at Virginia Beach, they'd been together 28 years. 28 years. They had investments. They had a history. They reached out to me and asked me if I would officiate their wedding. Me? And that's something I had to search out too. What do I think about same-sex marriage? Well, I think it's just as sacred and as holy as my own. So I got ordained, and I officiated their wedding. And they were the first couple to be married in Natchez, Mississippi. And Jill, the sassier of the two, when they interviewed her at the senior center, I said, why after 28 years would you get married now? And Jill said, well, I had to make an honest woman out of her. They're still around. We get together. So it did take some time. I had to deconstruct and reconstruct. I had trouble finding faith-based resources that would help me. I'm a woman of strong faith. I no longer identify as a Christian. I identify as a woman of faith. And I am a strong and faithful ally, number one, because I've seen what love can do. I've seen what learning can do, and I've seen what listening can do. And there's power. Precious people, there is power in fear and ignorance. We've seen very well what that's capable of. But there's also more power in love and education. And so when we can go from fear and ignorance or even misinformation to love, education, the world changes around you. I don't assume anything about anybody. I experience creation, humanity, the essence of you and you and you to an even greater degree. And I believe that it's the power of spirit, the great divine, however you want to identify it. It's what we were created to do with each other, to help, to lift up. So when we hug at Pride or high five, whatever it is, even if the person doesn't want to hug, we'll say, look at me. We love you. We're so glad that we're here together. Now go have fun. You know, it's the essence of humanity. And I believe I used to be rapture ready. Anybody here? Signs of the times, Lord, you got to come on quickly now. You see what's happening here? Come on, right? But now I think, what if this is the rapture? What if when we truly love and truly value each other, celebrate each other, what if that's the rapture? I don't know. We're going to find out. So I started going to weddings, officiating weddings. And before long, I heard people who their parents were not willing to accept the relationship, refusing to come to the wedding. And the couples were devastated. And so I went to bed at night, and I said, Lord, what can I do? And I made a social media post with my hand up in the air, said, if your biological mom won't come to your same-sex wedding, call me. I'll be there. I'll even bring the bubbles. I meant the bubbles that you blow. Sometimes I take champagne, though. But, and that post went viral. I didn't even know what going viral meant. Do you? Who knew? It went viral. And we started hearing from moms and dads and people all over the world saying, I'll stand in too. I'll be your crazy aunt. I'll be your grandma. I'll stand in too. And so that became, I became like the stand-in mom. And that post went viral. Well, it caught the attention of Jamie Lee Curtis. I know. And she sent me a direct message saying, this is Jamie Lee Curtis. Here's my number. Would you call me? I saw your post. I know. I saw your post that went viral. Will you call me? And I said, I'll call you right after I pray I'm not getting catfished. Do you know what getting catfished means? Okay. And so I called her. And she said, I saw the post about, standing in, and I think that's just a lovely thing, and I'd like to hear more about it. Well, she caught wind of the book, and she acquired the rights to the book. She came to my home. She met my family. Thank you. And she acquired the rights. There was a script written. She was ready to go and start filming. She had everything set. Then COVID happened. Shut everything down. And COVID happened. Then the writer's strike happened. And then she won an Oscar and an Emmy that took her on to bigger and greater things. And that just kind of put the book on the wayside. That's okay. That's okay. Jamie made a way for me to quit my job and work full-time for Free Mom Hugs and start a national nonprofit. Because we had people all over the world saying, I don't want to recreate the wheel. I want to do what you're doing in Oklahoma City. We never want to replace a parent. That's not our goal at all. You see those memes that say, if your mom doesn't accept you, I'm your mom now, drink your water. No, that's not the mission of Free Mom Hugs. We always are hopeful that the parents will come around. But until they do, we want to be that loving presence in the lives of those who need it the most. Now, almost done. I know, you've been waiting a long time. So, last story. Okay, 2 more stories. There was a time that we went to, it was gay days at the baseball field. And in Oklahoma City, it was a beautiful night. I'm pretty sure we were winning the baseball game. And there were young people and old people there with their pride flags and their transgender flags. Beautiful group of people. And there were about 3 of us moms there with our Free Mom Hugs banner offering hugs. Well, not everybody got the memo that it was gay days at the baseball field. And so I was standing there and I see these people along the sidelines, and they're about my age, because it's my generation making things pretty miserable right now. So they're standing along the sidelines, and there was a time that I would have gone over and tried to have a dialogue with them. I would have tried to communicate because I want to bridge that gap. But at that moment, I felt like the Holy Spirit said to me, Sarah, you are not here for them. You are here for the community. And from that moment on, I don't waste time on the scoffers. In fact, I call them scoffers, but I tell our volunteers, you are not to engage. Do not engage because we're saving our pearls. You know that verse from the old days? We're saving our pearls. And we focus on the community. And once we did that, once we focus on the community and their families, we see the fruit of the Spirit, the fruit of love. God is love, and the fruit of the Spirit is love. So we see fruit. We see families living authentically with their children. We see restoration. Not always, but the majority of the times, the parents will come around. Not always, though. And I have a saying on my Facebook page that says, no one has searched God, the scriptures, or themselves more than the LGBTQ plus person, or their mother, or their mother. Lastly, I want to leave you with a poem. It's a poem from David Gate. It's one of my favorite things. He's on Instagram, and it's a beautiful poem, so listen. I got to make sure I'm saying everything I want to say. See, here's my notes. Laws 29, baseball field. If you're an ignorant, stand in. Yeah, our hearts may be global. You got to live under a rock unless you see what's happening in the world today. Our hearts, I know, are global. I've spent enough time with you precious people to know that your hearts are global. But when we're centered on the world, like imagine this is the globe, we sometimes can't see the person in front of us. So our hearts have to be local. Our hearts are global, but our hands are local. Repeat after me. Our hearts are global, but our hands local. And that change, the ripple effect of that, people will be attracted to that because it's good fruit. And you'll get more and more people want to do what you're doing. Just like Free Mom Hugs. I'm the face of it now, but I'm not the first mom to offer a hug at a Pride Festival. I was accountable. I listened. I learned. I loved. And that's attractive to people. Not me. I mean, I'm pretty fine, but that's not, it takes a little maintenance, you know, but I'm being silly, but you get what I mean. you see people who are just doing things, the simplest of things, and there's something attractive about that. And you think, I can do that. Why didn't I think of that? I can go hug. And before you know it, you're planning a transgender Valentine's banquet or a clothing closet or whatever it is. And this can be applicable not only with the gay community. You know what's on your heart. It might be for the immigration status or for, any marginalized group. You have a burden, and that's your burden. And if you have what will help that burden, or you know someone who does, then that's your calling. What are the desires of your heart? That's your calling. And you will be equipped to do that thing, whatever it is. Okay, lastly. Yeah, David Gates. If God created the night and the day and the dawn, of course, and the dusk and the tangerine rose pink sunset and the infant bright of morning and the deep amethyst twilight, then to perceive the world in binary is to forgo knowledge of the divine. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. And I love you. Thank you for having me here. You can go to freemomhugs.org. You can find out more about the organization. There's pamphlets back there. But again, thank you so much for the invitation and for providing a way for me to come here and share with you about Free Mom Hugs.